Da, da, theme song, theme song. Da, da, da.
I'm Tanya,
I'm Nikki.
and we're A Thousand Eyes in One, the podcast.
Dun, dun,
Back
dun,
for
dun.
some more House of the Dragon.
Hot D.
Part D, Season 2, Episode 6, Smallfolk. To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, A Thousand Eyes in One Podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as Thousand Eyes One, Facebook and Instagram, A Thousand Eyes in One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram.
Who knew it was coming?
Oh,
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
Oh, yeah. They've been, a lot of things were confirmed that, not necessarily confirmed, but things have been building. And
Yeah.
we've gotten some of those
They
things. And they're
telegraphed
building
the
more.
fuck out of this episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before we stop, I had this later in my notes. There are a lot of things about this episode, and I had this in my notes later, but I moved it to the top of the list because I said that the sequencing and hand holding in this episode was brilliant. Like, if you didn't pick up on all the things by now, man, I guess the next episode's gonna be your your epiphany episode. Because goddamn, did they get good?
Yeah, they've been saying it without saying it for several episodes now, and now
Showing, not telling.
Yeah, which I appreciate. Let
Very
us
well
work
done.
for it.
Exactly.
We start with the Lannister army gathering at the Golden Tooth, and they summon
The insufferable Lannister.
the insufferable Lannister, Jason. Summons Aemond, who of course is enraged at
Of
the
course. But wait, can we talk about the fact they had like the lion in their zoo cart?
Yeah, why did they bring lions?
They brought a
Like, were they like, oh, they have dragons, so we'll bring lions?
like, oh, did you bring hors d'oeuvres? Says Vagar.
Right.
Like,
Like, is someone gonna ride a lion into battle?
oh, I want to see that. Give me Aslan.
I thought there'd be elephants.
But like, what a flex. Like, we already know that you're the Lannisters. You brought more people than we have here, who we now have to feed. Fuck you very much.
Right.
But yeah, I thought the lion was a nice touch.
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that they would bring lions.
Like, what did they eat on the way there?
But like, do you just set the lion loose?
But
And
then
you're
what
like, hey,
happens?
attack that guy. Only attack this color.
Are they tamed lions? Like the dragon people, like,
with
are
the
there
sticks.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lannisters. Lannisters and their lions.
Yeah. Oh, I was bringing up the small council because Aemond the whole time is just talking over Allison, ignoring everything she's saying as if she's not even in there. And then he fires her from the council.
At least he did it privately.
Yeah, at least he did it privately, but it's like after all of this, like once again, she's under the thumb of another man.
I mean, she was born to be a pawn. We all know it.
But I think at this point, after Viserys has died, after she's been, kind of ruling in his stead, even though it was really Otto, but at least Otto kind of kept her on board. And then Aegon has kept her as a counselor, and he somewhat listens to her, even though he kind of doesn't, but he somewhat does. And she's had this, I would think, this sense of importance to the council, to the realm. And Aemon's like, yeah, please go back to stitching or whatever it is you women do.
Go ahead, go be a girl in Iodon's court, won't you, doll? Sanderson.
That early.
Yeah, we try to bust them out as early as possible.
It just sucks for her because it's like you would have thought by now she's earned the spot.
But in whose mind? Because
in her mind.
Well, in hers, but hers only, right? The whole thing here is we don't want a woman to be a ruler. So
right. And I don't think she's put that together.
Yeah. Which is crazy to me. Because how do you go in 1 minute and from in one moment understanding that, your piece being played, like just the whole Viserys situation, to seeing like how you're treated by Egon and then your relationship, whatever that is, with Aemond, and expecting things to be different. I will say real quick about Aemond though, is that when he's talking, he's like, I'm the Prince Regent. He didn't say I'm the king.
Mm-hmm.
He said I'm Prince Regent, and I respected that.
I do think that it's getting to his head immediately, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's walking around like a guy who had plans, and we
Yeah.
know that he and Kristen, FCP, SCC, um, were making plans and playing at war in their little, their bro room. And but I never imagined that he would have thought things this far out. Like it's because it seems like, oh, well, this is what I'm going to do. He's moving all his pieces on the board, and I didn't know that it was like that. Like to bring up the triarchy,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought about that.
I thought it was reckless. But I understand why he's doing it. Like they've got a grudge against Damon and Corliss. Um, why not enlist them? But it's like what they were saying in the small council. You can't trust them. It's like asking the Iron Islands to be on your side, who they did mention too.
Yeah,
Haha.
as a possible marriage contract.
Mm-hmm. You see how Allison was like, huh?
Yeah, they were ready to marry her off, and that shows you what her standing is in the council.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
They're like, you're young enough to make some more babies.
you sure are. You sure are. Man. Yeah, when that happened, I was just like, oh. But I mean, but this is just the he's basically giving everybody pink slips of severance pay at his small council this time. He's like, hey, Thailand, triarchy, hey, FCC, why don't you go? Where did he send him to Harrenhal?
Yeah.
He's like, Christy, go to Harrenhal. Mom, go knit. Man. Yeah, but then I thought I was like, but it was not confusing to me, but I thought that she played the wrong move. It's just like, are you his mommy or are you his advisor? Right? Like you're playing two cards here. Like, oh, I should be on the council. I've served, and he's like, yeah, like your time has come. We don't need you here anymore. And then she's like, but my
She
sweet
said,
son,
I think she
isn't
said
it
like,
enough?
haven't the indignities of your childhood been avenged or something like that?
Exactly. And he's looking at her. To his credit, he didn't slap her hand off of his face. He let it sit there, and he was like, "You know what? You still my mom. I get it, but no, no." But in that moment, it made me remember what you were saying about his potential mommy fetish, and like, was that a moment? And he was like, "Oh, this is what I've wanted from you the whole time, like this level of like care, and now you gave it to me, but you're still fired."
I think at this point in his life, he doesn't necessarily want it from her, or maybe even realize that that's what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
You get older, and then that's just not your relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna start cuddling you with you now when I'm 20.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's a tender
Sylvie,
moment.
Sylvie can hold me all night long.
Insert meme here.
We got a new made up Targaryen.
RPG Targaryen.
Ariana or Ariane, whatever.
Oh, I thought
I
you
was
were
like,
talking about Sir Stefan Darkland.
no, that's what I'm talking about. Sir
Yeah.
Stefan. She's
Oh,
like, yeah,
right.
your grandmother, Ariane Target. Like, I was like, who the hell is that? I had to go look it up. I'm like, there's no, like, who?
I
No.
mean, if anything, that was a Dorne princess who got married into the family.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think there was ever an Ariane Targaryen, but
That's
I
not the naming
appreciate
convention, Mom.
I appreciate the effort of the show to flesh out this reasoning behind a Darkland trying to ride
Mm-hmm.
a dragon. Um, do you
He was
do you want to
honored. He was
he was
honored.
honored.
I mean, like, so let's say Tongarian, I come up to you, I'm like, yo, I heard that your great grandpa married into the family. You've got noble blood. You want to try to ride sea smoke?
See, my first instinct is to say, hell yeah, I want to ride a dragon. But then you
Mm-hmm.
get to the part where it's like you have to accept that the dragon might instead burn you to death.
Not even
And,
eat you, just
right, just
set you
burn you.
afloat.
And then I'm not so sure I want to try.
Yeah.
Like you don't have anybody with stronger blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like let somebody else try it. Let me see how it goes.
Hey, do you want heroin? Crack? Yeah? You want to try it? It's gonna feel real good. It might ruin
Like
your life.
one of these has fentanyl, but I'm not going to tell you which.
Dum, dum, dum.
My
I'll
eyes are
never
burning.
tell. Yeah, no, it's like I am honored, but thanks, but no thanks. Let me help you find someone who can. That would be my move. Like, I don't know. I would dirt, yeah, we'll talk about that scene. I have thoughts.
Well, we see that Corliss has accepted his position as hand.
Yes. He got to work early.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know like who is the candle maker who is supplying the candles for this table
Man, the
because
amount
they
of
are
beeswax.
balling like
It
so
must
many
be hot as
candles.
hell in that room too.
Gotta be, gotta be. But maybe not. Maybe the windows are open as drafty because they are on Dragonstone.
We
You know,
still
Stannis
have
doesn't like heat.
in my notes, Damon continues to hallucinate.
Says Damon tripping. Jinx.
He's still remembering things from his past. This time it is the air for a day comment that so angered his brother.
I mean, the fact that he said, "Wait, are you still mad about that?"
Yeah.
Like, we're never not going to be mad about that, David.
Yeah. By the way, I do want to talk spoilers at the end. Book
Oh.
spoilery stuff at the end.
You've been warned, gentle
I will
listeners.
give a spoiler warning before we get anywhere even near it.
She's gonna twerk and you won't see it, but we'll just know, and then you'll have to guess when it
You'll just hear
happens.
the cheeks clapping.
Ooh, I'm excited. I have no idea what she's gonna talk about.
I know. So Damon is really bugging. Like he's losing it there, and at this point thinks that Simon of all people is trying to poison him. Why not Alice? I don't know,
Yo, the balls on Simon, Sir Simon. I am
bruh.
saluting you.
When he was like, "Shh," like he's like he's a
He's like patting his
insane,
face.
yeah, like he's an unruly toddler. I was like, wait,
He's
what?
not far off.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then he has that
yeah.
conversation with Alice. Do you want
Creepy
to talk?
Alice. Okay, can we talk about like I enjoy her. I enjoy the character. I enjoy the acting, but the wig is so distracting to me. I have such a hard time with it. Like I'm looking at her face and just seeing what she's doing, but it's like it's pulled so far down on her forehead. I can't. I
Mm.
can't. And I've been meaning to talk about this for like 3 weeks. But now I've got it off my chest. Okay, let's continue.
Well, I was going to talk about his conversation with Alice after he threatens Simon and is basically accusing him of poisoning him or drugging him or something for why
Uh-huh.
he's having these hallucinations. He goes to Alice, who very openly gave him a potion to drink that he
Yeah.
willingly drank and hallucinated more, and yet somehow isn't blaming her. They
My
have that conversation where
my
she
note
kind
was
of
like, he's so confidey.
confidey.
Yeah. Like, why is he talking to her? Like, is it truth serum that she's been serving him that's only activated in her presence? Because WTF.
Yeah, I saw some people online saying like maybe she's not real and like
Oh,
he's been
interesting.
imagining her too, but like Simon looked at her last episode and
Yeah.
he mentions her by name in this
Yeah.
episode, so
And
like she's definitely
exactly.
real.
Yeah.
But I saw that thrown about as like a theory. um
Interesting, but you're wrong. Just like anyone who supports the Greens.
you're wrong. um yeah, he talks about Rhaenyra never even wanting the crown, and so we see that he still has that
Mhm.
like kind of bitterness, right?
Yeah. He doesn't understand how you could not want it.
And he's shown us like he's not good at diplomacy. I don't think he would have been a good king had he, been the one to get the crown.
Yeah. I mean, we know that he wants it, but Damon just doesn't understand why someone wouldn't want to be king. You know, like
I
why
don't think he
not?
looks at it as like actually ruling. I think he just sees like the system of power.
Yeah. And I
Like
think and she
I don't see Damon like desperately wants to make things right in the community. you
That might be
know?
the funniest thing you said to me all day.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Damon has like policies that
He
he
has
wants to
no,
put forth.
no, 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 no. He just wants to wear the crown.
Yeah.
And Alice is right. She's like, it's not a prize to be won, but a burden to bear, which made me think of Jasmine from 11. I am not a prize to be won, but you know, not nothing to do with it. But she's right. And we see that, you know, I don't want it. I don't want it. It's the people who don't want the crown who seem the most likely to be the best rulers, at least as far as Targaryen lines go.
Hmm.
Other lines, can't speak to. Which made me just have Game of Thrones flashbacks, and we're not even going to talk about that. But
I watched
whatever.
I watched season 1, episode 1 of Game of Thrones a few nights
Mm,
ago, and I
mm-hmm.
tweeted that I was watching it to see what, what remember what used to be, and someone sent me the suicide hotline.
So dark.
I was like, oh shit. It was like, do you need help? And sent me the suicide hotline.
I mean, she didn't say she was gonna watch season 8. Oh, that is such a good episode. It makes me want to watch it.
Damon's diplomacy in the Riverlands is failing, but Alice tells him in 3 days' time the winds will shift after she so deftly
Creepily summons a
an
falcon.
owl. It wasn't even a
Oh wait,
falcon, it
no,
was
you're
an
right. It was an
owl.
owl in the daytime. So she's clearly drugged everything.
Like, she's so spooky. Well, we go back to Stefan,
What house do
Darkwing,
you think she would have been in Hogwarts?
Slytherin.
I feel like she would have been like a Ravenclaw cast off.
I feel like she would have wanted Ravenclaw, but she would have been put in Slytherin.
You're gonna do great things. Sorcerers of greatness come from Slytherin.
Well, Stefan attempts to ride this dragon. Um,
Hmm.
so me being me, forgetting how this actually goes, even though I know my brain, I told you my brain just turns everything off and is like, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen next? So my immediate thought was like, oh yeah, he's gonna die because of course he's the first one to die in what they call the sowing. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was
Of the
like,
dragon seeds.
yes, we never said the word dragon seeds
We
last
never
time.
said the words.
But they
There it
didn't,
is.
yeah, but they didn't say it this episode. So yes, they're called dragon seeds.
Yeah.
So his was the first sowing, and I was watching it and I was like, oh shit, is it gonna let him ride? And it's like,
Mm.
I know it's not. I know it's not, Nikki.
I
I
know,
know
I
it's
know.
not. But like
I
I
had hoped
still
to.
was like, oh, maybe. And then the moment he said I've done it,
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh shit.
twas a wrap. Let's talk about this though. Like the Valerian chants that they're saying, the High Valerian chants,
To
like
like
what
summon the dragon.
what is that? I want them translated. I want to know more about that whole process. What is that?
Yeah, because I didn't think about it before, but when you show up to like the dragon garage, like how do you get your dragon to come up?
Made by the Badger Moles.
But like, there's no like dragon valet.
Yeah, no.
So
Like,
like
do
how
they
does
have
your
to do this
dragon know
every
to come?
time?
Yeah, they have to do like a chant for your dragon to come.
And how do they look? Is there one for each dragon?
I don't know. Like how does dragon valet work?
Yeah. Like Syrax? Oh no. Like they're downstairs, like down in the bottom of the pits, just like curled up. And then they start singing and they all look at you like, no. That one's for you.
Yeah. That's not my ringtone.
Like wow.
That scene
And
was crazy. Sea Smoke burned the shit out of them. And we were talking just a few minutes ago about those fucking sticks. What are they
what is
to
it with the
do with those
sticks?
branches?
My
Because,
theory is poking them in the eye.
but won't that just anger it more?
Yeah, but now it's got to like close its eye and figure that out. I don't know.
I felt so bad for the dragon keepers, and it made me wonder how many do they lose?
Where do they source them? Like, do you think that just like Targaryens, like they're keeping some kind of like old Valerian bloodline in Dragon Keepers going that we're just not telling us about,
I wouldn't be surprised based off of, the fact that they've been marrying their siblings for generations.
right? The other thing I wanted to know, like with the chance, like what the fuck is up with the sticks? But I thought it was really cool because we know some of these high Valerian words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we know Dahirus, we know that because
Mm-hmm.
of Valor Morgulis, Tanya,
Valado Harris.
you know? And I just it's really cool. It's really cool to see that. I love when they speak it, but like my note here, because I'm a jerk, says Sea Smoke didn't like his pronunciation.
Oh no. I
Too
felt so
soon.
bad for him. He was so hopeful.
I know. I was really sad. Like I same similar to you. I read it. I knew he was gonna make it, but just man, he got so close. But I also felt like he should have knelt, like like when Harry Potter
Yeah.
again, like with a hippogriff, right? You got to kneel. You got to show respect. The dragon was like, "Oh no, you think you got this?"
And it's like Sea Smoke. Okay, you don't want him to hop on for a ride, but like you had to kill him. You couldn't just walk away. Like you're the
Yeah,
dragon here. You didn't have
yeah.
to kill him. You could have just been like, nah, and like walked away.
And let that be a lesson to you all.
Like, like he didn't forcibly try to jump on his back. Like, damn, Sea Smoke. I felt really bad for the dragon keeper who had to slice his own throat. That was heavy. I was like, holy shit. To have the thought even.
Wait, was that the Dragon Keeper? Because I thought it was Sir Darkling.
No, Darkland was rolling on the ground. It was a dragon keeper who cut his own throat. They must have like a
Oh,
whole like uh
protocol.
yeah, a whole protocol for what happens when the dragon lights you up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because do you want to just continue to burn?
I mean, that's what Stefan had to do. I felt like he's like screaming. I was like, oh my God.
Mm, that was terrible.
It was horrible.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. But he was overconfident. And
He wasn't
as we,
though. He wasn't overconfident.
but to be like, oh, I've done it. Like, you're not on the dragon. Don't say that shit until you're on it.
Well, he didn't know it was gonna jinx him.
Oh, he should have thought about
He
it.
was in awe.
R.I.P.
The dragon like bent its neck for him to hop on. Like he was in awe.
I would have been skeptical.
Well, you're a very cynical person.
Am I? Shh, don't tell them that, Tanya. You're gonna ruin my reputation. Um, but yeah, I mean, it was really sad. I was sad to see him go. It was a terrible way to die. But Sea Smoke already had a bay.
Yeah.
Sea Smoke was betrothed.
Betrothed. Let's talk about Alan and Corliss and Adam. Corliss has given Alan some new orders.
Mm-hmm.
Alan's like, is this a request or a demand or however he said it?
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up on it on my first watch. It was until the later scene. I was like, oh, he has his head covered this time.
He does. He can wear his do-rag.
He has his fancy head covering. And Adam is watching this conversation and is kind of like getting annoyed with Alan because he's like, bro, just take the job. Like, it's a good job. You get a pension, there are
Yeah.
benefits. Just take the job. And later on, we finally get the confirmation, which they've been
Mm-hmm.
telling us the whole time.
Without telling
But
us.
yeah, without telling us that Alan and Adam are Corliss's sons. If you haven't, if by some weird stretch you hadn't picked up on that by now, I don't even know what to tell you.
Doesn't Adam look like he was like lead singer in like
Millie
some like
Vanilli.
nine? I wasn't gonna say Millie Vanilli, but like a group from that era. Sure.
Yeah, look at those cheekbones. Look at that jawline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He is striking.
He is striking, which is crazy because like Auntie Ray like should have gone up to him and be like, "Oh yeah," because he's the more striking of the two.
Yeah, I think that Alan is very handsome and I love his deep voice. But
Yeah,
Adam is like otherworldly.
he's like standing on the sand dunes with his shirt open in the rain.
Yes, 90s
Yeah,
R&B in the desert,
yeah, one
begging
hundred
for her
percent.
to come back.
Mm-hmm. Woo, woo,
Well,
woo,
Alan is
woo.
shaving this white hair off his head. So now we
And
know
he's
why
not
he's
old,
bald.
guys.
No. And they discuss Corliss and what Adam feels they're owed.
Yeah. And Alan's
And
like, don't nepotize me, dad.
which is crazy because I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm a fucking Valarian bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Put me on a motherfucking ship. Let me make my
Perks.
riches. You could at least give me that.
Yeah, for
What do you
real.
think about Corliss having outside babies? Which
I
Rhaenys knew.
She knew. She knew. He was a sailor. He got
Yeah, but
around. But
these were at
who's
home. He didn't even get them
yeah.
abroad.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I can't who was their mother? Do we know that?
In the show, no.
Yeah, in the book we know, right?
Yeah, in the book,
Who mom is.
yeah, in the book we know, and also she claims that they're Laenor's kids, but everybody kind of knows that they're Corliss's.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no. Well, it would be one thing if there was one of them, but clearly there since there are two, it was an ongoing relationship. Maybe they were just like poly or like, ethical non-monogamous. Who knows? Um it I would say it's not Ned Starkish, right? Like I'm not saying that he's keeping to his vows, blah 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 blah, but maybe it was somebody that he knew before he, got up with Auntie Ray. But
It's hard to
yeah, I
say
don't know.
because we don't know their age compared to Laena
Yeah,
and Laenor.
yeah. I mean, but it's just like I like something about it is making me assume that Lena are younger, and I don't know why.
I
Alan gives maybe Adam, sorry, gives younger to me. Um, I don't know. Wouldn't it be crazy if like Adam is his firstborn?
I think Adam
If
is
Alan,
supposed to
I'm
be the
sorry,
older.
Alan is his firstborn.
I think Adam
Alan,
is the older brother.
Adam is the older brother.
I believe so.
Uh-huh. Wait, or
The one with the
Alan.
locks is the older brother,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least
Well,
in the books.
okay, but then he's like he never talks to me. He's always ignoring me. But maybe it's because he knows that he doesn't have the white hair.
Maybe.
He's calling him strong in his mind.
Well, that's why he couldn't hate,
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
man. Oh, that's true. That is true.
Ulf the White complains about the thin broth, the thin soup in the tavern, and Sylvie and Diana spread rumors.
I love it. I love it.
Sowing discontent. What did
I
you think
was
about
like,
those rumors? I really enjoyed Sylvie's acting.
oh
Like,
yeah, that's what I
can
was about to
you
say.
believe?
Yeah, just
And
like,
Diana's like, no, with him acting all correct and making sure
you
everyone
know,
can overhear it.
stage whispers.
Yeah.
I really loved it. As soon as he sat down, as soon as I saw her sit down, and she was like, "Oh no, just ale because I would not be eating that." And everybody's complaining about the fact that all there is to eat is fish, which to me sounds like amazing. But
Well, yeah, seafood's so
when
expensive for us.
yeah, but when you're used to eating mutton and these things, I can understand how that's not fun.
Yeah.
But I love that she came in there and was just like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Although I thought she was taking a risk because who knows, there could have
Who
been
knows
like
who's
green sorters
listening?
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I also feel like if since they were both in there, that they probably timed it because what's his name? I always forget.
Ulf.
Ulf seems like he's a regular.
Mm-hmm.
They probably know, it's like your homeboy comes in the bar every day at like 5:05 and you know who else is in there at that time and you know that this is someone who people are going to listen to.
Yeah,
So
and
I
this
feel
was
like it was well
obviously,
planned.
yeah, I was gonna say this was a planned out, coordinated thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like they were actually just gossiping loudly. Like this is a plan from Massaria to sow some discord.
So some discord.
They're talking about the girls are in there feasting and dancing and celebrating
Mm-hmm.
the new Prince Regent while everybody out here is starving.
And
And
even if it's not true, fuck them. And there's going to be that they're going to be doing it again tomorrow night.
with
Like,
dancing. Can you believe it?
while we out here starve. And he's like, you know what? Viserys at least made sure that we were fed,
Yeah, he's like he loved his wine and his feast, but never while the small folk went without.
which makes me think about Robert Baratheon.
Oh, Robert Baratheon was absolutely would be feasting while they were dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then he'd go and then he'd frequent their taverns and be like, "Hey, you wench, malnourished wench, come with me." Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. And it's because other not no, I was gonna say Viserys was a good ruler. He made sure that his people were taken care of. And if he did it, somebody else on that small council did.
He also had no war.
Yeah.
Like they had the
Yeah.
triarchy, but that wasn't happening at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Was not on their soil. What do you think Viserys would have been like as a wartime king?
Cautious.
Hmm. So like Rhaenyra.
Yeah. I mean, I think he would have listened to his counselors.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and then I think about when he was like when Corlys was like, "Hey guys, stepstones, WTF?" And he was like, "But I'm having a son." Like that's
Yeah.
my exception, right? He was excited about the baby. Um, and so I'm not going to say he doesn't listen to his counsel. I feel like that was an exception
And
for him.
that felt like oh, that's happening all the way over there, and we're all the way over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, we know they're mad and they're hungry.
Yeah.
Dum,
They're
dum,
mad, they're
dum.
hungry, and the rumors are spreading that the castle is living it up.
I just heard that in the Ja Rule voice.
To every castle that be living it
Living
up.
it up. Oh man. Mm. Laris,
I was gonna say Rhaenyra slaps the shit out of Bartimus, Lord Bartimus.
you should have just shut up and let her like
He was
walk
annoying.
in peace.
He was making me like cringe. The way he
Yeah,
was
I mean,
walking behind her and just wouldn't stop talking.
ugh, like a toddler. I'm not condoning slapping toddlers for talking too much, but I'm just saying the similarities are there. Um, but it was, I mean, honestly, that might be one of the most satisfying slaps I've ever seen in either worlds.
And I mean,
Yeah.
it's like had it been a king, they wouldn't be walking behind him talking to him like that.
No. And she's right. She's like, maybe I fucked up and you should like I made you not fear me.
Yeah, it made you forget that you should fear me. Or you've
Yeah.
forgotten that you should fear me or something
You
like
should
that.
fear me. Like, I could literally feed you to a dragon. Did you not see what happened to the last guy? And he went voluntarily. Yeah. I mean, I understand his frustrations. I really do. But like chill. Chill. Like this is like, later on Jace is like, "Oh, I heard you slap the shit out of him in front of like the servants and like the guard." And yeah, she did because he was pestering her in front of the servants and the guard. Like
Right.
how does it look if she's just taking that from him?
Right. You're not supposed to be able to talk to the queen any way you want.
Mm-mm-mm. Absolutely not.
She tries out that sword because she wants to be a warrior queen.
I like her. I loved how she like held it up and like got the weight of it.
Hmm.
That made me really happy. Cause like why are we not talking to anybody about like, training me on the low? Like Jamie when he got his hand cut off.
I mean, I wonder if she feels silly about it.
Maybe. I hope not
Like
though.
a little bit embarrassed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, does it make her look seem more ridiculous if she's suddenly asking, for lessons in the sword?
Right.
Maybe.
Like, oh, you want to play at swords now, princess?
Yeah. Now we're back at small council meeting.
Yes. Back at the small council meeting, King's Landing has no food, as we
Nope.
know. Like even the food lines are drying up before the day's done.
Oof, yeah.
And then the soldiers ride through with a cart full of goats or sheep or whatever
They
that
were
was.
sheep.
Sheep.
They went bad.
Okay. They went what?
Bad. They went bye.
Yeah,
Sorry.
these people, she's begging for literal scraps just to
Mm-hmm.
have something to like feed her family. And they come by with their giant cart full of sheep that they're gonna go feed to the dragons or to the castle because
Where to
at
the
this point you
castle?
hear that they're eating, rack of lamb and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And as far as we know, Vagar is not. Where's Vagar? Right?
No, Vagar's
Vagar's not
home.
there. Is Vagar at home? He's parked in the garage.
Yeah, Vagar's in the garage. He's been through a lot. He's resting.
That's right. He did go through a battle.
Yeah, he's been through a bit.
He's
Yeah,
getting details.
yeah, he's getting detailed, getting the claws cleaned, teeth brushed.
Not that's not my job. I imagine having to brush a dragon's teeth.
Can you imagine?
Oof.
Aemon doesn't seem to care enough that the city's starving.
No. And this is his first mistake. I mean, there are many, but like this is a problem. We've seen how that can go wrong.
Yeah, you have power because the small folk give it to you.
Yes.
We talked about this before, where it's like, and which we'll see later, where it's like, yeah, one king's guard against one person. It's like obviously you know that's going to be a bloodbath, but you get like 50 people on your one king's guard, and he's fucked. So maybe listen to the masses. And in this case, they're telling you that they're starving, and he's like, well, why are they mad at me? They should be mad at Rhaenyra. It's like, well, you're the person who's in charge of the city. You're supposed to be making it right, and now they believe that you're feasting every night and having parties.
It doesn't matter that you don't know that that's what's being said, but you cannot, like, these people are working in your castle. Like you
Mm-hmm.
saw what happened. There's already been an assassination attempt. They are in your homes and they're hungry. Like they have
Mm-hmm.
to go back to their families and be like, because you know what happens if you fucking steal food off the Lord's table or the king's table.
Right.
Like, not. You have to be worried about these people, if only because eventually you'll be sending them to war.
Right. That too. But yeah, I feel like at this point the power has gone straight to his head. Like he came off as like this calm and collected person who has the right ideas for rule, and then the moment he gets the seat, he's
Mm-hmm.
ready to be a tyrant.
Well, I think he still got ideas for rule. He just never factored the small folk into them.
But yeah, like he wants to be a tyrant. Like if you don't factor in the actual people that you're ruling, well then what are you doing? Like are you know what I
Aemon
mean?
did. I mean, Egon didn't either.
Well, I think
And it's
Aegon was a
just,
was a
well,
tyrant
yeah, no,
too.
he was definitely a tyrant, and I don't think that they had enough contact with Viserys while he was, ruling to really understand that. But then I think about like their only contact with the small folk is probably in brothels where everybody seems to be having a good time.
Yeah.
They're not strolling the streets of King Landing like, oh hey, y'all
Like
hungry?
Damon was.
Yeah, King of Flea Bottom.
And they're not making use of this master of whispers.
Sure are not. But to be fair, the self-serving master of whisperers wants a promotion.
Yeah. Like what
what
was
what
go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's his face across the table from him?
Oh, I can never remember his name.
Me neither. It's so forgettable. My bad, bro. Um, but just to watch him, just you know what it reminded me of? Remember in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where Azula was talking to her dad and like trying to like butter him up about the plans that he made and like being all, ingratiating. He was like, "Listen, kiddo, nah." And Eamon does the same thing. He's like, "Listen, I hate flatterers and lick spittles. Like, what the fuck do you want? No, you're not
he
going to be
called
the
him a
hand."
he called him a toad.
A toad. You toad. And my favorite part about that scene, besides Sir Homie across the way laughing and like trying to conceal his laughter and like smirking, is the fact that Aemon calls him out. He was like, you know what? Let's get Otto Hightower back here because his devotion to his family has never been in doubt.
Mm.
And I was like, ooh, say something. Say something. Because we
Yeah,
all know we got you keeping all your money here. We know that your
Laris
house is in disrepair.
Laris severely misjudged like that conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, how did he really think that was gonna go?
Like how could he possibly think Aemon was going to be as easy to manipulate as Aegon?
Yeah.
After everything he's seen so far,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he's
And it's
getting
just like
sloppy.
he is getting sloppy, but also just casting your vote for Aemon to be the regent instead of Alicent does not win you points here.
Right.
Like that's really all you did. It wasn't enough, sir. Hopefully we see Otto Hightower in one of these upcoming episodes.
Hopefully we meet Daron.
Daron, the kind one.
Daron the mysterious. Daron the mysterious.
Mm-hmm. Where are you, Derry? We'd love to meet you.
Aegon is in pain getting his bandages changed. It's disgusting.
What is it? Like, are
Um,
those cabbage leaves?
I don't know. Whatever it is, I want no parts.
Just like how bad does it smell in that room,
It
Tanya?
has to smell crazy in there.
Ugh.
It has to smell crazy. And like I wouldn't want to be awake for any of that. Popping me up.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Popping me down.
Ugh, man. Just how terrible. Just, oh, I can't, I just can't imagine the pain. I
Mm-mm.
can't.
And Aemond doesn't seem too pleased that his brother is awake.
He's a little peeved.
He's a little peeved and kind of threatens him a little bit with the what do you remember? Like that was kind of a threat, right?
Mm, I, yes. Let me let the veil fall back over that one.
Yeah.
100% a threat. Just like, and he was like nothing. It reminded me of Bran in the Tower, right? Like, what do you remember? I don't remember anything, except we know that he remembers something.
Oh, he
But
absolutely remembers
you
because the
know,
fear that he felt the moment Aemon came in.
right? That's my note that I
He
can't read. He was
uh.
shooketh. He's like, and he said first, he's like, I don't remember anything. I don't remember anything.
And
And
he's
Ava was
like,
like,
"Oh,
for
you."
real?
He's like, "You
Challenged
challenged
Maylis.
Maelys, remember?" And he's like, "Nope, don't remember anything."
Nope, didn't happen. I
I'd
wasn't
pretend I
there.
forgot too. Aemon's terrifying, and I'm already injured. It
You know,
wouldn't
it's
take
like
much to kill him.
yeah, but it's also the implications of you remembering,
Right. Who are you
you
gonna
know?
tell?
Who are you going to tell? Did
So
your
once
brother try to
again,
kill you?
right, once again,
Yes.
was Aemon actively trying to kill him, or did Aemon just not care if he died?
Yeah. Well,
Now I'm leaning towards him seeing an opportunity to kill his brother and get away with it.
mm-hmm. And it makes you rethink, when he was laying there, if he and he had his sword unsheathed, whether or not he was going to just kill him and put him out of his misery. Like, was it going to be a mercy killing murder? We don't know. Maybe. Although I feel like the Silent Sisters would have been like, "Hey, yo, what's this sword? What is this stab wound? Right through the heart." But I guess maybe he would have done away with him too. Although I feel like it's super bad luck to kill a Silent Sister.
Probably.
I bet that's a superstition that we don't hear. Hey, George. Oh, bad. Yeah. Okay. So, question. It came across my whatever something feed of random articles about the significance of him giving um Aegon his ball
The
at the
marble
table,
thing.
the marble thingy. I didn't read the article, but my question to you is, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
Why did he give him his attendance ball? I don't know.
I don't either. I don't either. To remind him that he's not at the table, to remind him that he's there being a regent. Like, I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, I should go Google the theory, but like, I don't want to be tainted by your conspiracies, internet.
Like maybe it was just like a yeah, you're still the king for now. You're still the
Mm-hmm.
king in name.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. It
Yeah.
felt threatening, whatever it was.
Whatever it was. I mean, I'm just thinking of so many other things where somebody is wounded and somebody like just kind of digs into that wound literally to cause them pain.
Even the maester seemed concerned that Aemond
Yeah.
was in there.
Maester Orwell. I wrote it
Yeah.
down this time.
Yeah, Maester Orwell was like, my prince. Like even he
What
was
are you
kind of like,
doing
what are you
here?
doing in here?
And I love that they opened the door to him when he kicked everybody else out.
Mm,
Like, and by him, I mean, I love that they opened the door for Maester Orwell when Aemond kicked everybody else out.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like, well, I was gonna say I feel like for an injured king, he's not protected enough. Although any guard would have let Aemond in, but like even
Absolutely.
later when Laris is able to just come in and keep his meds away, like what the fuck is going on here? And then
For
but then you
real.
remember that he hired a bunch of dickheads to be Kingsguard.
Oh, that's right. Wait. So where are they now? We haven't seen them.
Dicking around.
Dickety doodling. But do you why like if that was the case, like doesn't the prince or king like the regent have the ability to bring on his own Kingsguard?
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, I
No,
would
because
want
you
replacements.
only replace them when they die.
Oh, that's right. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he almost killed his brother, so
What is it to kill a couple Kingsguard to open up some
who suck
slots?
at their job.
Let's go to the Vale.
Just keep championing murder over here. Okay, let's go to the Vale.
The Vale has a wild dragon.
Mhm. Love how they kept that to themselves.
Right. Vale has a wild dragon, and we get the news that Rhaena and the smallest ones are welcome to go to Pentos. But Rhaena is a bit shaken up about this wild dragon business.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think she's gonna do? Do you think she's gonna try to ride it?
I would.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I would. Fuck it, you're there. You don't want to be a babysitter forever, and they already said that you could take the kids. The prince will take the kids. Well, she finds that out later, but um, yeah, there's a dragon there, and it's one that hasn't rejected her.
Well, because she hasn't tried.
Yeah, so you know,
And it's a big dragon.
a very big dragon. I want to see this dragon. I mean, I know, but I still want to see this dragon. Um, yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think that, maybe should have let them know, but I guess, I mean, that's what I had in my notes. I was like, geez, oh, that's what I couldn't read. I was LOLing at the thought of just a wild dragon just flying around. Like, imagine just, it's a wild dragon. How terrifying.
It reminded me of when Drogon was flying around killing people's
Mm-hmm.
kids.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Because like that scene is like very similar, right? Except it wasn't the body of the skeleton of a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So dragon, there's a wild dragon in the Vale. And even though Raina hates it there, she's having second thoughts. Shout out to the baby dragon in the room while the boys are
Wasn't
playing.
it so cute?
Adorable.
Vagar wouldn't
Love.
even taste it on the way down.
No, it wouldn't have even been a hiccup.
It's like that's just like seasoning for the bigger dragon it's gonna eat.
I don't even know if it's that. Like when you're like outside and you get like a fly, you like swallow a fly. Except like it would do that without even touching the sides of its throat.
So Rhaenyra sends food to King's Landing on little
Mhm.
boats with her banner. Shout out to branding.
Shout out to branding.
And so now people are getting shipments of food from their good queen.
This is the part where we're gonna say what we were talking about before.
uh it later leads to riots. The food gets into the city and fighting starts.
Yep.
And as someone so wonderfully put it, she used Uber Eats to start a riot in King's Landing.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Now, Alicent, before this, Alicent had visited Aegon and was asking, what will he be if he lives? And Maester Orwyle didn't really have an answer to that.
Mm-mm.
We also learned that Otto hasn't been responding to her letters,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Ghosted.
House Beesbury has raised arms. Because
Yeah.
remember, Beesbury was the first one to die in that meeting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kristen killed
Yeah.
him, the old man.
Mm-mm.
She also chats with Gwaine about Daron, asking what he's like.
That was
And
really sweet and sad.
it was really sad because I can't imagine someone else raising my kid. But like that's what they
Yeah.
did. You send your kid to ward. She already has two sons there.
Yeah.
She doesn't need a third son there.
Yep. You got the heir and the spare. The third son can go learn another craft.
And apparently he's kind, unlike his brothers. And she questions whether it was the court or their mother that made them into the monsters that they are.
Well, I have thoughts. Oh man. What just yeah, it was a little bit painful for me to watch, but like I saw Gwen was like, listen, daddy always liked you more. This is so annoying, like blah 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 blah. But then he softens. He's like, you know what? He's a good kid. He's smart. The girls like him. He's got the sword. He's good at the sword and good at the loot, which reminded me of another Targaryen of a Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar Targaryen. And it makes, it just made me go, why the fuck haven't we met him yet?
Yeah, it's gonna be such a letdown when we finally meet him if they've built him up and he's just like some guy.
We're basically like on the dating app version of Daron. He were showing he's got his gym pics and he's like playing guitar, and we're like, and then we're gonna meet him in person. He's gonna be 7 inches shorter than what he said, and like not at all cool. Anyway,
Well,
and
after all of this, she goes to see Helena
but
and
wait, before that, can we just
uh-huh.
talk about how she kept, we know that
Oh,
she
giving
didn't
the
really want to
glances
see
to Cole.
Gwen. We know that she went for Kristen,
Oh yeah.
right? But she ran into her brother first. So, and he knew it. He was like, okay, I know what this is about. I guess I'm here so you'll talk to me. But like, kept throwing glances over there.
So are we really broken up or are we just on a break?
Mm-hmm.
Well, after this conversation, she goes to see Helena and she asks Helena if she wants to go light a candle. And Helena's like, sure. So while we have now this food riot breaking out, Helena and Allison are in the sept praying and they've got
Mm-hmm.
to get the fuck up out of there because shit's getting
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And this is when you realize the importance of the King's Guard and why they're
Yeah.
supposed to be the best knights in the land because
Yeah.
these motherfuckers got mollywopped like
Absolutely.
easily. One, they lost control immediately.
Mm-hmm.
They lost
Mm-hmm.
control and they couldn't even protect themselves, much less the queens.
He had to chop off a hand.
Chopped off a hand
But why were they able to get that close?
to
And
grab
also, is
her.
there is there not like a secret, royal entrance or an exit?
Nope.
Like,
They just take the carriage.
mm-mm.
Well, it's supposed to be safe.
It's supposed to be. But maybe you should feed your people.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, people are starving and are in a and well, no, I mean, again, not making use of your alleged master of whispers. Like, what is he
Yeah.
good for if he can't tell you that people are starving and like getting kind of antsy to fight?
Or I mean, but I guess like I don't know. I was gonna say, but you know what? I was gonna no, no. I was gonna say to be fair, they didn't know. But if the small folk know that hey, these boats showed up at midnight, they've had all day to be like, wait a second, where did these come from? Rhaenyra is feeding the people now. Oh no, they're
But
gonna be mad. Maybe stay home.
even if they don't know that Rhaenyra sent food, it's just that the people of the city are not happy. They don't have food and you've locked them in and they can't leave. Why would you
Mm-hmm.
think now is an okay time to be seen? Even if you don't know
Yeah,
about the food riots and the food being brought in, period,
yeah.
you
There's
know
no
that
way.
people are starving and they're angry at you because you won't let them leave.
I'm praying at home. Thank you very much.
Girl, you don't have one small sept inside that castle?
Hospitals have that even. Come on now.
Seriously. So luckily
Mm-mm.
they had the other guards with them because the King's Guard can't fight for shit. I wonder
Yeah.
how many we lost.
Enough for Eamon to get his way now.
Get some new ones.
Yep.
Did you notice that Allison has a slash on her arm in the same place where she slashed Rhaenyra?
I didn't know it was the same place, but I love that that's a thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
did like the slash on the arm. I wonder what was going through her mind in that moment.
Poor Helena.
Oh man, that poor
They're gonna
girl.
drive her crazy.
They really are. And yeah, like we shout out to her acting again too, because she always just looks like somebody dropped her on another planet and she's being bum rushed by people. I mean, and I guess that's literally what's happening, right?
Yeah, she
If
doesn't
you're
have
if you're
contact
living
with the
like safe
outside.
and closeted, um, then that is what's happening to you. And like both times that you've been out in public, like roaming the streets, it has been scary for you.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. Yeah. Poor girl. And her crickets that stopped singing.
Do you think there's significance for that too?
There's gotta be. There's gotta be. Not sure what it is, but yeah. This reminds me of this episode from the Cosby Show where like Sandra was in love and she just kept singing that song over and over and over and over again and driving them crazy. Like the flowers are gone, there's no morning dew, the crickets, no love song, and I feel so blue. Yeah, ingrained in my mind because VHS tapes, and that was like one of the 4 episodes we had. Anyway, yeah,
Anyway.
it does. I mean, it reminds me of like when Sansa got lost and in the
Yes.
crowd, and
Yes.
yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me of that riot where the Septon got his arm torn off and Lawless in the book anyway was violated and
Oh yeah.
Sansa almost got violated.
Mm-hmm. And what's his name got torn to pieces, literally.
The Septon.
Yeah, the Septon.
Yeah. It reminded me of that. And I was so scared for Helena in
Mm-hmm.
particular.
Me too. Me too. Because whatever happens to her, she didn't deserve it.
Like she just wants to play with her bugs.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the other kid since either.
Yeah. What happened to the other kid?
Yeah, they just like don't show them to us. Like, where's the kid? Laris stops Aegon's meds because apparently that's a thing you can do to the king.
Yeah. No more drip, please.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. People will listen to you.
I
And
mean, I mean, but she is but a humble servant. So, and he's very powerful. So, you don't know that you shouldn't listen to him.
yeah, I just feel
He
like
could
maybe I
disappear
would go
you,
get the maester.
but snitches get stitches.
She beat him up. He doesn't even have
She
his
just
own
run.
guards. He doesn't look like he can fight. Once they saw he had a club foot, they didn't train him in shit.
Yeah.
Because this is Westeros.
This is Westeros. And he talks about this, right?
Yeah. He says people will pity you. He gets all teary too.
He
Like
does,
he's
which
he's damaged. He's like really
mhm,
traumatized by his life. I mean,
opposite
Westeros
of
is not
Tyrion.
yeah, Westeros is not good to the disabled,
There's no
like
it's
it's
no ADA.
yeah, there's no ADA in Westeros. They're like, "Oh, physical disability, useless to society, throw him away."
Mm-hmm.
Cuz it's
He
like he
tells him
literally just has a club foot like
yeah, that's it. But which they thought was sorcery. It was so
yeah.
twisted that I thought it was sorcery. But he tells Aemond, he was like, he's like, you'll never run again. And my mind said, or rape,
Mm,
or rape.
mm.
So yeah, maybe it's a good thing.
But he also tells them that people will underestimate him.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think that that was kind of a comment towards Aemond underestimating Laris.
I could see that. I could see that. I didn't make that connection at first, but yeah, I think that's true. When my initial reaction to that was was him buttering up the king because we know what he wants. He's been positioning himself to be the hand of the king since Aegon was coronated. Like we know that he wants a position of power. We know that he's creeping to the top, and now Otto's gone, so there's a power vacuum. But ooh, Kristen, Sir Kristen, what do you mean? Um, yeah,
Yeah, because since when does the regent appoint a new hand? Like you're the regent, like you're filling in for the king. You're not the new king.
yeah. Is there precedent for that?
Not that I know
Hmm. Bigger nerds, let us know.
of. Well, he tells him your brother rules in your place, which means you're in danger. So Aegon obviously already knew this. He's
Yeah,
in danger and he's
he
scared.
was like, he was just here, dude.
Yeah, he was just here and he hurt my leg.
That shouldn't be that funny. Oh
Well,
man, how the mighty have fallen.
Aegon asks him for help. And once
Mm.
again, what is Laris's endgame? Because now he's not going to be the hand to Aemond. even though he very stupidly thought that that was what was like. Why did he think it was that easy? Like he
I,
underestimated Aemond.
like, yeah, so there's good mutual underestimation that's happening. But I just like I don't know what what befell him to think. No, hold on a second. I don't want to say that. I don't know what made him think that it was going to be that easy, but also that like you're not doing this by yourself. You're not whispering in the king's ear as you're like walking down the hallway. You're saying this in front of Lord What's his face across the table. And like how embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. Like it's
How
very cringy.
embarrassing.
It's
And you guys
very
don't even have
cringy.
it is cringy, but you guys don't even have a relationship.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it's super cringe to be so brazenly like bootlicking
Like,
and then to get
hey,
shut down like that, like
like
not you. It's like,
no.
oh my God. Like I
He,
was cringing so hard.
he was like, listen, I don't want the gossip queen to be my hand of the king.
Right. Like you can't
Like,
even control your own house.
good. Oh, there it is. Because we know what's going on. We know who is at your own house.
Like Damon is sleeping in your bed, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. He's sleeping in your bed. And we know that you have all your money here. So you're not even like taking care of your own people.
And like, what is your role here? What does Eamon think about a master of whispers? I'm sure he probably thinks that's women's business.
I'm sure he does.
Well, speaking of Damon, he's still hallucinating because that's what he does. It's like I feel like if you put together all of the Harrenhal scenes, you'll have like a cool little horror movie.
OMG, I bet somebody has done it. And if they have not yet,
Somebody do
let us
it.
know. Send it to us. We want that link. It could be unlisted. We won't tell. Yeah. I love that Damon is making amends in his hallucinate nightmares.
Is that what you think it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like
I think
seeing the
in the
mistakes of his past.
I think he's seen the mistakes of his past because the one right before this, um, Viserys is like, yo, not only did you like disrespect me on the day that my family fell apart, he says that. He's like, my family was torn apart. I lost my wife and my heir, but you were out there laughing about it in like the brothels with your boys and your hoes and shit. Like, how rude. Like you were not there when I needed you. And here's Damon being there when he needed him, rewriting rewriting history. I don't know if it makes us feel any better, but
It's like it's been therapy for him.
yeah, yeah. I still don't know how that explains like the whole mommy dream, but you
Yeah,
know,
that was some weird shit.
I guess we'll figure that out.
I guess, it was the things he's thinking are being said out loud.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. I love how complete um that second hallucination was too. Or dream or whatever. Because it's like not only I can't remember her name, but not only is she there and Viserys is there,
Emma.
but the silent Emma. Not only is Emma on the slab, but the Silent Sisters are there too. It felt I don't know. It didn't somehow it felt more real to me than some of the other ones. It's Damon how he should be and how we would want him to be, comforting his brother, um, while his sister was after his sister died.
Well, Emma was their cousin
Oh, sorry, after their cousin died. Comforting his brother after their cousin died.
after his cousin's sister-in-law.
Yeah. This family tree is so tricky.
It's this fifth. This family tree is a bush.
It's like mint. Just like an
It's
invasive
just invasive.
species.
Well, Lord, he gets the news. He's woken up from his hallucination with the news that Lord Grover has finally kicked the bucket.
Drooling on the table.
Yeah. And, Alice tried as hard as she could, but even she couldn't keep him alive. So I think it's safe to say Alice went ahead and sped things up.
Just a little bit. A
And then
little nice
Damon
shade.
starts crying.
Okay. This is where I have questions for you that you probably have for me, and my answer is, I don't know.
What is your question for me?
Why the fuck is he crying?
Because he's been hallucinating for weeks and having reliving all of the mistakes of his life. And
And the
I don't
one dream
know.
that he finally like decides to be a good person and like does what other people have wanted to do, he finds out that there's been kind of an assassination.
I don't think he's crying over Grover. I think it's just all of this has been happening to him mentally and it's just weighing on him. And now finally he's about to make some headway, I guess, because
Mm-hmm,
he knows we
mm-hmm.
know that Oscar uh is down for the cause and that with
Yeah,
Oscar the others may follow.
right. But isn't Oscar the little kid that he was mad disrespectful to?
Yes, the grandson.
So that's why I would be crying. If it was me, I'm like, damn, I fucked up. Like everybody else is already mad at me. And now he's just going to remember that I said, why don't you put a feather pillow over your grandsire's face? I'm not forgetting that.
I wouldn't forget
Like
that.
Viserys even forgetting he was a hallucination. I would be so shook.
Yeah, I'd like to hear people's thoughts on why Damon was crying. I think he's just emotionally wrung out.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think
yeah,
he's a person who cries, but when you've been haunted day in, like night after night, you've been haunted to the point where
yeah,
your days and nights are running together and you're just waking up randomly at tables, you know. Because even earlier, he's like begging for them to open the door, or the earlier scene that we see with him where he threatens Simon. He's like, open the door. And he's like begging, and Simon opens the door and he like collapses on him. Like,
yeah.
imagine being on the other side of that, how crazy that must have seemed.
I'm like, what is Alice doing to him?
Yeah, Alice is his, what do they call it? The sleep paralysis demon. Alice is his sleep paralysis demon. Well, we Adam sees Sea Smoke again. So now Sea Smoke has finished murdering and decides to go out for a little peruse and is flying through the skies and scaring the villagers and decides to take Adam on a chase. Now, my question for you, young Nicole, what
Yes.
would you do if a dragon was chasing you?
You mean after shit my pants?
Yes, because that's the first
Pass
thing
out.
anyone would do. That's what I said. I was like, I would shit myself unconscious and like wake up in heaven or hell. I don't know, but I wouldn't survive it.
If I were being chased by a dragon and it became abundantly clear that it was targeting me, it was not going for the other people, I would shit myself. I would die. I would wake up and be like, oh my God, why is it in my face? I don't know that I have another reaction. In cartoons where like somebody's like ghost is leaving their body and they just watch it and then sometimes they try to pull it back. I'd be like, no, I'd like be greasing my hands up with butter, just let it fly away.
Yeah,
We're done here.
I would simply die. If
Yeah.
a killer beast was chasing me, I would like, and it's like it's a dragon, you
And
know?
now you're trapped with your back literally against the wall and it's smiling at you.
And then it goes, I choose you.
Yeah. Yikes.
I saw this meme and it was like, you said darkling. And then the dragon's like, no, I said dark skinned.
God bless the internet.
Oh, the memes have been top tier. So yeah,
Wow.
Sea Smoke leans in so that Adam can boop him on the nose.
But it's so exciting.
It is
It's
so
so
exciting.
exciting.
And it brings up so many things because the idea is like, okay, it has to be a dragon lord that can ride a dragon. So to them, that means Targaryens. But Adam's not a Targaryen. Adam's a Velaryon, and the Velaryons are Valyrian, and the Velaryons were not dragon lords. However, the Targaryens weren't the only dragon lords. They're the dragon lords who survived. right?
Right.
So maybe it's not that you have to be a dragon lord, but you just have to have Valyrian blood.
That tracks with me.
So it doesn't have to be Targaryen, just Valyrian in general, which
Mm-hmm.
means somebody out in like Lys could ride a dragon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
We finally get Rhaenyra and Massaria again. It was so funny. So okay, so first we have their conversation, right? She's talking about Damon, and it's I kept thinking to myself, I can't imagine just like hanging out with my husband's ex and talking about him. Like, I don't know. That's so weird.
Yeah, well, I've been there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think it'd be
it's
weird.
weird. It no, it is weird. It is weird until you guys both realize that like the shortcomings of this person. You're like, yo, for real, that too still.
Like
Mm-hmm.
it'd be different if it was like Rhaenyra's ex-husband,
Yeah,
but like this is her current husband and she's kicking it with his ex and like they're talking about him. I don't know, it's so weird. Um, yeah, I don't know, that'd be too weird for me. And it'd also be very weird for me to make out with my husband's ex. But in any case, she says that Damon was everything she wanted to be, and also the opposite. She was everything Damon wanted to be. And yet somehow they can't seem to reconcile that. And she fears he may have turned against her.
yeah.
What say you on all of that?
Yes, yes, and obviously. Like the what like what other answer is there to that? Like, yes, she wanted to be him because
He's
he's a
carefree,
man,
he's daring,
but
he's
he's a man and no one would question his claim. Like all of that, and but that too. And he just wanted somebody to love him because he didn't know his mom, as we found out.
well, and he wanted to be the heir.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing to me about how badly he wanted to be the heir is like, bruh, as soon as he had, even if it was like not gonna be Rhaenyra because it has to be a boy, like he ended up with three more sons. Like you were not gonna stay the heir. Let it
Yeah.
go.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Like he should
wish
have let go of that dream once Aegon was born.
100%. 100%. Like, how dare you? Like, I just don't know. Like, was he planning on murdering all of his sons?
Right.
Was that the plan?
Right.
Because no one told us. Um, yeah. I don't know. Maybe he just would have felt better about it being a boy. Because you know what? It would have been different. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it would have been different if Aegon was born and Viserys is like, oh, you know what, Rhaenyra? Like, we're glad that you were like the stand-up, but now there's a boy. We know that how the realm is gonna react. Um, but we have to have a man. Like, would Damon have then chilled out because it was a man? I don't know. What do you think?
I, I think he would have to because it's like you're his brother, not his son. You're gonna be replaced as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that should have been something he just knew all
Like,
along.
how did you, yeah, how did you,
How did you get it in your head that you needed to be king?
yeah. Or that you would have had the opportunity um once a boy child was born. That's not how it works. Like, we know the laws of succession.
Yeah, like you're literally the heir because he doesn't have sons yet, but like the expectation is that he will have sons. So like why would you be holding on to this? It just makes him seem a little bit crazy. But maybe it was just the love, that he wanted from his brother and he didn't love him. Viserys didn't love Daemon more than he loved Rhaenyra.
Yeah, but Viserys loved Rhaenyra because that was his child. But you know what? Maybe it was a situation like this. Um, maybe it was a situation like this where, hold on, my phone is like recording what I'm saying, where he like like Viserys as a father, we know was like super cool for the most part, right? He doted on his children, whatever. I bet he gave Damon the same type of love until he was married and had a kid.
Hmm.
And then Damon was like, "Wah, but
What
what about
about
me?"
me?
Which is understandable. That's painful to like have that type of attention ripped away from you, you know? Ask every middle child.
I'm a middle child.
Tell me how you
I'm a
really
middle child,
feel.
but I'm the first girl.
Mm.
So wasn't quite the same.
I'm the oldest, and I'm because my sister is so close to me in age, it's like I don't even remember having that type of attention.
Yeah.
Although I know that it was adored, and I still am.
Yeah, I'm the middle, but I'm the first girl. So like I was adored because I was the first girl. So I had
Yeah.
my own place.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, Massaria shares her tragic backstory,
So
which I
much
will not.
therapy that needs to have
Yeah,
that needs to happen here.
Massaria
I mean,
recounts her tragic backstory, which I will not recount because damn, that was dark.
yeah, super
Um,
duper.
and when Rhaenyra went over and hugged her, first I was like, "Wow, what intimacy from a queen, to be just
Mm-hmm.
hugged." And then I jokingly said, "Now kiss." And then they started sniffing each other's necks.
I was so
And
mad.
girl, I was not mad at all.
I was so mad. And so
Why?
let me tell you why. I'll tell you why in 1 second. On my rewatch, I peeped that Rhaenyra has a little cloner for her. So I was like, wait a second, what is going on with that? Where they're on the tower and Jason's like, wait, what gift?
Hmm.
What's going on with y'all?
Hmm.
But the reason that I'm so mad is because they put that into this show, but did not give us Daenerys and Handmaiden love.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. I think that this show is trying to make up for some of those mistakes because in reality, this should have been Rhaenyra. This relationship should have been more of a Rhaenyra and Lena relationship. They took out how close Rhaenyra and Lena were in the books.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think they're trying to make up for mistakes of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know, but like I mean, I guess I'm always happy to see two ladies kiss and stuff, and I'm here for writing it into the show, but I'm still mad that we didn't get that in GOT. And I don't know. It just like I don't know that I'm talking to my ex's ex, right? Or my current partner's ex, and then be like, oh yeah, they were so shitty, let's kiss.
Yeah, it definitely like was a little bit crazy.
Yeah. And I know times is hard and things are tense and like, your husband has been gone long, long, far away. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I don't think it's a good idea.
I think, well, it's a terrible idea, especially because her ass looks so guilty when what's his name, King
Hmm.
walked in the room. Masaria's like, oh yeah, what's going on? And Rhaenyra's like, did they see us? Did they see
And
us?
he was even looking at Massaria like, the fuck y'all been up to?
Yeah, what are y'all doing in here?
Yeah, I think it's a terrible
I
idea because
smell. Shout out to House Party.
I definitely think it's a terrible idea because like, well, one, like what if your husband finds out? Like, he's crazy. And two,
Hmm.
like how much can you trust Massaria?
Dude,
Because at the end of the
dude.
day, like she's not your bestie.
No, she's not. No.
And as a queen, you should probably be careful.
You know? And it's like, sure, we're bonding over trauma now. And I told you something that I don't tell everybody, but like, where is the separation here? I don't know. I just honestly, I just didn't really buy it, and that's why I'm upset. I'm not mad that it happened, like for this in general. I just didn't buy it
Hmm.
in that situation.
That's fair. I didn't think it was going to happen. When I said now kiss, I was just joking at how long they were hugging. I didn't think that they were actually going to start making out. I was like, oh shit. Well, in
Yeah.
any case, she's interrupted to tell her that Sea Smoke has been spotted with a rider, and they
Hmm.
think it's someone from the Greens. And she hops on her dragon because she's about that action.
After they summoned it from,
Right
the
after
valet
this from
brought
the
it up.
valet. So obviously the writer on Sea Smoke is Adam.
In case you guys didn't put that together, he didn't. Sea Smoke did not eat Adam.
He just licked his face and said, "Hop on, buddy.
Let's be friends.
I choose you." And so that's how we end, is with her flying away on Sea Smoke.
Which was a fitting ending.
I mean, I'm sorry, her flying away on Cyrax to go look for Sea Smoke.
Yes. Fitting ending. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on this episode, besides that, like I was kind of quiet and enjoying it the whole time. And when this scene started happening, I said, "Don't you dare." I was screaming it. And it was like, it was like 10:30 because I watched it a little late. And I was at my parents' house, and my nephew, because of summer vacation, was also awake. And he came into the room and he was like, "What's going on?" I was like, shh, 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 shh. I was like, "How dare they? Don't you dare, don't." And then I screamed, "No." Because I just didn't buy it. I just didn't. But other than that, I felt like it was a solid episode. Once again, I cannot wait to see the next one. And I just got low key depressed that means that there's only two more.
Yeah. All in all, enjoyed the episode. Had a great time. Now I'm ready to talk some spoilers. So,
fuck off.
If you did not read the book and you don't want to know book things, now is your time to run away.
Say goodbye.
Elmo loves you. You are special. Night night. To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, A Thousand Eyes in One Podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as Thousand Eyes One, Facebook and Instagram, A Thousand Eyes in One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram. Spoiler time. Dun, 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 spoiler, spoiler. Now,
shout out to DJ Radar Ellis for that filler.
Now, this dragon in the veil, I think it's Cannibal, even though Cannibal was technically on Dragonstone. So it made me wonder if A, we will get Nettles after all, or because I'm of the belief that Nettles is Damon's daughter, not his mistress. Mm-hmm. Right. And it would have made sense for him to have had a daughter in the veil just roaming around,
right.
So do we get Nettles, or is Raina going to take Nettles' storyline, which I think is more likely?
That's more likely. Yeah.
Instead of adding a new character, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to see Raina start bringing food to this dragon, and she's going to claim Cannibal.
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. I mean, I just look at her face and I just see how forlorn she is, and I need her to ride a dragon.
Yeah. That was it, really. It was just Nettle stuff that I was thinking about.
Yeah,
I didn't want to spoil for anybody.
Mad. Right. No, I wouldn't be mad if they switched those storylines. Not at all. I think it would be actually really cool. I think it'd give us a chance to like see Raina live up to whatever her little dragon dreams are.
I mean, Raina does end up getting a dragon though.
So maybe they'll just condense combine those two storylines.
Maybe. Well, that was it, really. I just wanted to ask my Nettles question without spoiling it for anyone. All right, well, I've been Tanya.
I'm always Nikki.
That's all for now.
Bye.